welcome to CFC Fan TV. You're going to have to bear with me a little bit today because I have been quite ill over the weekend, so my voice might sound a little bit off, and I do feel a little bit sick, so I throw up mid-video, just pre-warning you all. But yeah, you know, this has actually become my favourite video, I'm going to say. I didn't ask Sophie last time. I didn't even create the name AskSophie. You all just started tweeting in hashtag AskSophie, and I thought it was fantastic. So I'm going to try and do it every Saturday or Sunday, depending on when we have a game. Probably be Sundays, I think. But yeah, I just love answering all your questions, and I'm really excited to get into them. You always come up with some funny ones and some very interesting ones, and there's a lot of talking points at the moment, obviously, because our club is in a little bit of turmoil, I think, with the manager situation, with our form. But yeah, I'm really excited to read through some of your questions, so let's get going. Right, so the first question is from Rory. Hello Rory, lovely to hear from you. I'm so glad he's getting involved in the video as well. He's just, so should we start AMPADU and Hudson-Odoi against West Brom? It's not a bad shout, is it? It's really important that, you know, tomorrow's game goes well, if I'm being honest. Mainly because obviously Conte's job is on the line. I mean, to a lot of us fans, I would say probably 80–90% of us still want Conte in. There's always going to be a few that don't, and it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on that, so comment below. But I think if we lose tomorrow's game, then the pressure is going to be even higher, and I don't think he'll get fired if we don't win tomorrow's game, but I think if we lose on Friday evening, I wouldn't be surprised to hear us wake up to the news that he's gone, which will be really sad, because I don't feel like the manager they're talking about, is Enrique or something like that, will do the job, and I think we're just going to go through the same cycle over and over again. So tomorrow's game is very important, and yeah, you know what, I would say we should start them. They've been very influential when they've come on. They've not made any, you know, really bad errors. I think the majority of the errors are coming from, you know, the majority of our first team, which is a shame. And yeah, I think it's time to try something new. I think Conte's probably the only manager that would bring on Odoi in our previous match, and it just shows that we're on desperation. But in a way, it's good that these sorts of players are getting this game time. They should use it as their opportunity to shine and to hopefully, you know, get more game time playing for a top club like Chelsea, and, you know, hopefully a new manager comes in and sees that. Okay, next question comes from Tosh at Craig Tosh CFC. Hello Tosh or Craig, whichever your name is. Are you doing Barcelona away? Yes, I am. I'm definitely going. Me and Dan have all booked our hotels. I just got to book up my flight now, which I probably left a little bit late. But yeah, I'm very excited. If I'm being honest, I'm incredibly unconfident. But you never know in these games, and we've just got to use this month to really, you know, try and change our form somehow. I'll get into, there's another question in a minute I want to answer that sort of ties in with that, but yeah, I'm definitely going, and you know, I love these away trips. We make fantastic memories, and it's brilliant to be in the competition. And as far as we can progress, I feel like we deserve to win the Champions League this year with the way we're playing? Probably not. But if I see something spectacular, if I see the boys really try hard, you know, I do think it's all in the mind, and I think it's, at the end of the day, the Champions League, it definitely comes down to, of course, you're playing against a top team, but we wouldn't have beaten Barcelona before unless we were the team that wanted it more and had more heart in the game. So that's the way I see that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to that one. Next question is from NWA. Very interesting question, actually. Thank you, SuperFrank211. Hello. Would you take 3 to 4 years of finishing 4th or 5th to get more of our talented youth players into the first team? Hashtag AskSophie. Love it. I love the hashtag. You raise a very good point. I don't want to offend anyone. No, I wouldn't take 3 or 4 years off. I'd definitely take a year out. But I don't think that being out of the Champions League would solve that issue. I think the minute we get back, I think if we were to do that, I think the minute we progress back into the Champions League, the young players wouldn't be featuring. So I think, like I said before, with the transfer policy, with our club system, something sort of has to change here, because all we're doing is, you know, getting these really talented young players in, putting them out on loan, getting these really good managers in. The minute they stop performing very well, there's not really any leeway for them to have time to change it around. Our transfer policy is all over the shop. Like I say, we have AMPADU, we have Odoi, all these players that, you know, fans really enjoy watching and think they could actually do well for the club if they were just given the opportunity. But you imagine you're a youngster and you get put into a team where you're only getting really maximum of 10 minutes to sort of show what you can do at the end of a game, and that's sort of in you know, an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup game. We're not even talking about the Premier League here. So I don't think that us taking a few years out of the Champions League would solve that problem. I think it's more of a system error that we have going on at the moment, and that ranges down from managers to youth players to transfers to everything. So yeah, but if we could see more young players through, obviously I would love that. Okay, George Murphy. Hello, George. He says, how come you sit in hospitality every week at Stamford Bridge with complimentary drink and food and heated seats? Would you rather soak up the atmosphere without a blanket with us proper fans? Hello, George. Also, I've been going, I think somebody asked me when my first game was, so I'll answer that question in a bit, but I've been going to the Bridge since I was 16. I've obviously been a supporter since birth, but since I moved to London, you know, that was what I really wanted to go watch the football, and my dad took me, and I think my first game was Portsmouth at home. I sat behind the shed upper, just behind the shed lower, and we won. It was a comfortable one. I couldn't believe I was this close to the pitch. I thought it was amazing, and I've sat in amongst the fans now for a good nearly 11 years. So, and I still do. I still have my seat in the shed upper, and I vary between the two. So it's a very good friend of mine, and I have sat in hospitality before, the level below, and I haven't actually liked that because there is zero atmosphere. But everybody I sit with, they're, you know, die-hard Chelsea fans. I love seeing them all. It's a nice opportunity to catch up with everybody and say hello. And I also have my ticket in the shed upper, so I vary between the both. I love both atmospheres. And if you're asking me tomorrow if I was to ever own Chelsea Football Club, would I ever stop sitting with the fans? No, I'd do a little bit of both. And, you know, yeah, it's not really about where you sit, it's just who you're sitting with. So that's what I would say about that. And the blanket is just because I get cold. So if I could have a blanket and take it into the shed upper, I definitely would do. Thank you for your question, George. Norm Rumack. Hello, Norm. I think you're from Canada, which is lovely. I'd love to go to Canada. My nan's brother lives over there, but we've never really seen each other, and I always forget where they are, but I've got a lot of Canadian friends. Anyway, you say that your favourite player is Didier Drogba of the past generation. Who is mine? I think I answered this question last time. You know, I said Frank Lampard, and I will go with Frank Lampard. He will always be one of my favourites, and he's sort of the player that I grew up watching along with JT. But for me, you know, there just won't be another like it. He's Chelsea's all-time top goal scorer, and he deserves to be number one. However, I will say when I was a lot younger, the likes of Vialli and Zola were players that I always watched on the TV, very old TV, so it looked more scenic actually, when I used to watch it on, you know, TV screens that were not black and white, but you know, definitely none of these smart TVs you've got going around at the moment. But yeah, so it would be a cross between all those guys, but definitely Frank, I think, will always take the lead. Blue Army at Your Chelsea Guy. Hello, Blue Army. Says, choose between Lampard, JT, Didier as your favourite legend. Good question. Like I said, Lampard, but it's very hard to go through these players and say that I prefer one to the other because they've all done very different things for the club. All leaders, I think. I think Didier Drogba, I think he went through like one bad spell, and then the rest is I can only remember as good. He gave us one of the best nights of our lives. JT, you know, as a defender, as a leader in the club, there probably won't be another like him. I think the closest to that, like I said last time, was Andreas Christensen. So it'd be interesting to see how he progresses. And he's young, and he's, you know, made his way in. He's kept players like David Luiz out of the team, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being having a similar sort of role. And obviously Lampard, he's our all-time top goal scorer. Yeah, I love him. I think I'd have to go with Lampard. But JT, if you're watching, you probably won't be, but you know, you're right up there as well. Anyway, John Connor at Real John Connor. Hello, John. Says, would you ever date somebody who isn't a blue or wasn't a blue? You know, luckily enough, my last boyfriend, they were not together anymore. The first question I asked him was, are you a Chelsea fan? And he said, yeah. And I said, who do you support? He said, Chelsea. And then we started talking. And I think it's more of a having a football club. Somebody said to me yesterday at work, they said you can change who you're in a relationship with, friends will come and go, you can change the clothes you wear, but you cannot change your football team. So if you can change your religion, you can change all these things, but you cannot change your football team, and it's completely true. So I think it just says a lot about a person. I have dated a few Arsenal fans, I won't lie, they have come into it, but definitely never a Spurs fan, I can tell you that. I just feel like we're two completely different mixes of people. So yeah, would I ever date somebody who wasn't a blue? It really had to come down to it, yes, but my children, if I ever had any, would 100% be Chelsea, so he'd just have to get used to that. Okay, Tay, hashtag Conte out at heat of Hazard. Very, very forceful, not forceful, very strong hashtag there. Says, why are you Conte in? I'm Conte in because I think he's probably the first manager to come into a club and take a very, very average team that finished 10th in the season before, had probably one of the worst seasons they've ever had, and then take a team that really weren't meant to win the league and make them a fantastic team and go on to be champions. I think it's almost really unheard of. I think the only thing you could sort of take close to that was when Di Matteo won the Champions League with us. He sort of took a team that again was not performing very well and we won the Champions League. But there has to become a point where we give managers one season to turn it around. If at the end of next season we're really in a bad state, then I understand what the board are doing. But to fire him after he just won the league, after he's not got the transfers he wants, after it's clear that our transfers have not worked out, it's great to sign Olivier Giroud on the last day of the transfer window, but getting rid of Batshuayi, the only player that's goal scoring, whether you like him or not, is an absolutely terrible decision. To me, it leaves us back to square one. So I think Conte's at a lot. I think he can change a team once, but can you change a team the next year where everybody else improves? No, you can't. So you've got to give him time to turn things around. Okay, Rocco says, match day 38, you and Robbie swap roles for a game, you doing AFTV while Robbie does interview at CFTV. Do you know what? I don't think Robbie would ever be up for that. It would probably be very, very strange. Maybe a friendly we could do that for, but definitely not once the season starts. Okay, good question. I really want to answer this. Ibra at 1507, hello, says, did Chelsea make a mistake by selling Batshuayi on loan? I mean, he's flying at Dortmund, isn't he? They're not missing a human bang at all. He's really filled that role, and it doesn't come as any surprise to me. Like, I think Batshuayi is a fantastic footballer. Why Conte hasn't favoured him, I don't know. And I think what happens is, and what you're seeing now is, Batshuayi has all this in him, but he knows at Chelsea Conte didn't really favour him, and this is one fault that Conte has made, and I will say. When you try to stick with Morata, I know we're trying to give him game time, he's been injured and this and that, but his policy, Antonio Conte's mindset used to be last season, you're not performing while you're out of the team, you're performing while you're in the team, and I used to love that about him, and it seems this weekend he sort of lost his way, this season, he sort of lost his way a little bit. So Batshuayi's always had this in him. He's given us some very important goals, like I say, the win in Atletico Madrid, the goal against Norwich, although we were absolutely horrendous. I'm not saying he had a great game at all, but he's given us lots of goals for us to actually progress further in these competitions, and then we get rid of him. So it's no surprise to me that he's doing well, and yes, I think it's a terrible decision that we did put him out on loan, because we don't have any backup now, and that's why I am pretty seriously worried going into the Champions League, because we have no striker. Olivier Giroud's done nothing since he's come. We have no striker. Why do you continue to hang out with Claude, the enemy, and go to the other side? This is from Carlos. He's not an enemy. I love Claude. He's a fantastic person, and they're all fellow YouTubers. And I think we all know how it's a very tough job. It's extremely time consuming. It's 7 days a week. You have to be in with all. You have to edit the videos. You have to be in with all the news. And I edit. I've always edited all these videos. We have a little bit of help here and there, but I had to learn how to edit videos and do all sorts of things. So I appreciate the hustle from Claude. And when we're playing each other, absolutely not. Do we have any love for each other's club? Absolutely not. But for each other as people and as football fans, all trying to give fans voice. That's what I was saying. We've played Arsenal so much recently, it's been hard to avoid anybody. And I think we're two teams that are in a sort of similar period where neither team is doing very well, and we're all just trying to see who's going to be, in the top four. And it's very much up for debate whether it's going to be Chelsea or Arsenal at the moment. But yeah, that's what I would say there. And then last question, Danny Marshall says, are you free for Valentine's Day? Yes, I am actually. I spent my boyfriend a year ago, so I will be free. But I don't think I'll be doing much. I'll probably just have a lot of food or go out with some of the girls. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Anyway, thank you very much for your questions. I've loved it this week. Next week we'll try and do something different. Maybe I'll ask you, questions on something specific. But yeah, get your comments in and let me know what you guys think of these videos. If I've answered all your questions, if there's anything else that you would like us to do, please let me know, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the game. Super excited, and please, if you like this video, click the subscribe button that is showing on the screen now.